Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrian OB, intuitive Western astrologer with Astrology A Look Inside. And I just had a desire to come and mess with people and talk. I have been doing that a lot lately. Yesterday I came on and I discussed that my Mercury is square Mercury right now. So I think this has a lot to do with it. But I'm going to see where the planets are right now. I don't know. I'm silly. I'm getting punchy. I've been at it a while today. Like my third or fourth video for the day. It's been one of those days. Thursdays are always crazy. Don't forget Thursday is ruled by the planet of Uranus. A lot of people don't know that. Thursday is a Uranus day. It means anything can happen on a Thursday. And it usually does, by the way. Oh, I see what the heck is going on. Darn it all, the Betsy. First of all, that Saturn and that Sun they're really about to connect now. We're really looking at a conjunction. Saturn is trine. Not a conjunction, but a trine. Saturn is trining the Sun. Saturn is trining the Sun. Saturn is trining the Sun. And so is Pluto, by the way. Pluto is actually going a lot slower than Saturn, but you know what? They're still technically conjunct each other, and they're still, and Pluto is exactly square Venus. Yeesh. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. So, okay. Wow. And the North Node is exactly opposed Saturn too. We've been dealing with that off and on for a while. Where's the North Node in your chart? For me, I've talked about this before. It's in my 7th house. And like when the North Node got into Cancer, like right away, because I have it at like 29 degrees of Cancer, my marriage dissolved. So I wonder where your North Node is. Like if you have a Cancer North Node, I wonder where it falls in your chart. Like what house? And if you don't have a Cancer North Node, like if you have like a Capricorn North Node or a Libra North Node or an Aries North Node, I'm wondering like, whoa, how is that affecting you with the squares to the North Node? Because I'm dealing with, I went through the conjunction to the North Node, and it's wow. I mean, because it's the 7th house, it's been ugly. Like I look sometimes at my numbers even on, and I right now I think I make videos in protest, just because I got bitchiness in me, because I do have Scorpio on the 10th house, so I tend to be a little on the bitchiness side. Bitchy. Anyway, look, this is not good. I mean, I personally got the North Node in the 7th house and it's been there in the 7th house. It's been ugly. It's not been good. And all the issues with people not liking me and not, all the enemies and stuff. I was publicly attacked this week. I was in this group that I belong to on Facebook called Black Women Promote. I don't know if any of you guys ever try to find my unlisted videos, because I have a lot of business videos that I have unlisted. And I'm going to upload where I kind of like just told them off in Capricornian style with the little finger and everything. I'm reading people. I'm always reading people. And when I'm not supposed to be reading people. I'm like, when you get to be my age, you can read whoever the hell you feel like reading. I'm sorry. I ain't get to be this old so I can have people just tell me what to do and what I know and don't know. I know what the hell I know. Know what I know and, whatever. So anyway, so I'm looking down, and I'm sorry to laugh about it, but as Mercury sits between my Mercury and Saturn, squaring it. So Mercury is square my Mercury. So I probably should have kept my mouth quiet. And Uranus is exactly square my Mercury. Like my Mercury is at 3 degrees of Aquarius, always trying to get brotherly love and universal understanding. It ain't happening. And Taurus, Uranus and Taurus is stubborn. It's a stubborn stupidness. Like they think they smart because they thinking all fast and lightning all wrong. Because it's Uranus. So anyway. Oh, you guys, I'm in this silly mood. I don't even know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with it. That's why I'm making the live. It may or may not make sense to anyone. And I am perfectly aware of that. And it's okay. The sun is square my first house right now. I mean, because it is trying my ascendant, though. The sun is trying my ascendant. And technically still trying my sun. And it's conjunct my moon. Okay, I'm okay. I'll be fine. Mercury is still technically in my third house, which is why I'm crazily talking with Uranus and Mercury in my third house. And I didn't want to, because I technically even have Chiron in the third house now, and I think. Wait, no. It's still in the second house. Oh, Chiron, please get out of my second house. Please. Please get out of my second house. I don't think I've ever felt like money hasn't come to me in the way it's not come to me while Chiron's been sitting in my second house. I'm not saying I haven't gotten money and that I haven't been lucky, but I've been lucky by way of association. And that's because my own child, who is like incredibly doing well, and so has helped me. That's how well she's done. But I'm waiting for this Chiron to come out of my second house. The sad part is knowing that once it leaves the second house, Chiron then will make its entrance into the third house, which is communications. And I need that communications in order for me to feel like I'm, making headway and whatnot. So it's a little frustrating. It's a frustrating time. So, I don't know really what much I can do about it except let Chiron just keep being Chiron and keep on moving, keep on trucking. Because now what's going to happen is at 4 degrees, this means that Chiron is about to enter into my progressed ascendant. Ooh. Anyone else have planets around 4 degrees of Aries? That's where Chiron is right now. And Chiron in the third house would make communications very difficult. Like it just makes it harder. There's always, like when Chiron is in the third house, it's putting like a feeling of pain or insecurity. It's a wound. It's healing, but it's a wound. Maybe it'll be time for me to heal this, whatever it is that people look at me or listen to me and they're like, I don't like her video. Well, why? What'd I say? What'd I do? I don't get it. And maybe that's what Chiron going from my second house into my third house is going to help me to get. Now, it's a wound. I got wounds with my family to extended family. So maybe it's going to be there. That's like aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, just extended family. Maybe traveling locally. Maybe I'll get out and get a car. And people will know I've been driven in like almost 20 years. I got rid of my car in 1998. No, 97. 97. No, 99. No, was it 97? 97. Yeah, wow. Amazing. Can't believe it's been that long. Really, it's amazing. Last car was in 97. So, but that's because I knew I had issues with my third house of travel. See, I got Aries on the third house and I'm a Capricorn. And it was always an issue. And when I got to Georgia, I realized that I wasn't going to, when I had to go to New Jersey, I knew I wasn't going to be able to drive in Jersey. I grew up in Jersey and I knew Neptune is right on my midheaven in Jersey. I can't even think clearly in Jersey, just like a basket case in Jersey. So, I stopped driving. So, the sun in Taurus, let's start with each planet and what I think it means and what it's doing. And we'll go through this very quickly. But the sun in Taurus is at 19 degrees. And really, when the sun is in Taurus, especially at 19 degrees, it's basically like 1 degree. This might be a day where a lot of people are thinking about money and things like food and money and comfort and stuff like that. I know I have. My mind has been on money all day. I can honestly admit it. Now, it might be because I'm in that, I got a grand trine to where the sun currently is, but it might just be because we're right in the heart of Taurus. That is a very like, it's all about things like food and money and, feeling and touch and stuff like that. And I can see where these are issues that are coming to the forefront, especially things like weight issues, food issues, beauty issues, sexual issues, things like that. And it all depends on where Taurus falls in your chart too, because I really, I'm one of those astrologers. I put a lot of emphasis on houses. So I believe the area, like the area of the house is the arena that it's all happening in. So it's good to know where the signs are in your own chart, because wherever 19 degrees of Taurus falls in your chart is the arena in which all of the activity and the sun and is taking place. And for me, it's happening in my home, and I'm in my home right now recording this message to all of you. And there you go. And next, I want to look at the moon, because the moon right now is at 24 degrees of Cancer. It's pretty fast moving. It's getting through Cancer pretty quickly. That's in my 7th house. And I have felt open opposition ever since the moon's been in Cancer in a couple of groups I belong to. And, I can tell there are people who just can't stand me for whatever reason it is. Probably holds no basis in reality at all. But, that's what happens when the moon is in your 7th house. So 24 degrees of Cancer, it just really kind of resonates right now with me with the whole Taurus feeling right now, because it's 6. But where's 24 degrees of Cancer falling in your chart? Or 25, because it's moving pretty quickly. It should indicate where nurturing is taking place, because it's the moon in Cancer. And we're going to have a few more hours of that Cancer moon. So it's a really nurturing time, I would think, where people are caring and nurturing for each other and taking care of, things of that nature. Next, we have Mercury in Taurus. Mercury is at 6 degrees. Again, that's another Taurian flavor, because another 6, we have, crazy, isn't it? Anyway, Mercury is at 6 degrees of Taurus. Where does 6 degrees of Taurus fall in your chart? In my chart, it's the 3rd house, as I mentioned, it's communication. And it's weird because Mercury rules the 3rd house of communication. And all I've wanted to do for the last few days is communicate. So, and I don't know if everyone else wants me to, but that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. And that is the stubbornness of having Mercury in Taurus. Talking when you probably shouldn't, but that's Mercury in Taurus. Next, we have Venus. Venus is in Aries, and it's at 23 degrees of Aries, which is a 5. Funny, that's a very flirtatious little Venus there in Aries at 25 degrees. Lots of flirtations, I think, are occurring at this time. And if they haven't, they could, and they probably will, because it's just that time of flirtation. Some are probably flirting more than others. But right now, the moon and Venus is actually squared each other. So that activity for flirtation may, or, it may actually pick up for a few moments there, like the next few hours, actually, to be honest. Wow. And then on top of everything, Mars is in Gemini too. So yeah, there we go. There, that is the Gemini, and that's in 8 degrees. That's very sexual. Basically, like having, Mars right now. The people with Mars in Gemini right now are really feeling that. But I think Mars is very work oriented right now. It's really thinking about money right now, in that degree, I think. And in my case, it's in the 6th house of work. So I really feel that. But I think overall, Mars is at a degree right now where it's just kind of money and work and responsibilities, I think, for Mars right now in Gemini. Probably through written material or reading, communication. Wow, another 23 degrees, which is Jupiter. So Jupiter and Venus is trying each other. And Jupiter's retrograde, and so it is in Sagittarius. And Jupiter at 5 degrees is not necessarily good when it's in Sagittarius, only because I'm just saying, because uh, 5 degrees again is, it kind of vibrates to five, which is 23 vibrates to five, which is Gemini, which is the opposite of Sagittarius. So today might be a little weird. Um, it actually, the last couple of days, I think it's going backwards, so it's only like 2 minutes left in 23 degrees, and in a way I'm kind of looking for it when it gets out of it, because it's probably set up some type of weirdness, especially with that trine to Venus at 23 degrees. I'm sure you guys have probably felt that fire trine between Venus and Jupiter. Some people might have made some decisions that might not have been that great, like, wow, waking up the next day in bed with somebody, like, what did I do? Why did I sleep with that person, Lord? I'm glad that wasn't me, though. And with Mars and Jupiter opposing each other, that is definitely a possibility, because Mars took action and Jupiter's like, what the heck? Anyway, so Saturn's at 20 degrees of Capricorn, and that too is not really a great. A lot of people don't look at stuff like I do. I look at things kind of weirdly, but looking at 20 degrees is not a good place for Capricorn anything, because 20 goes down to a 2, and a 2 is a Cancer number. So Capricorn, Saturn right now is not happy anyway, as it's retrograding in 20 degrees. It wants to get the hell out of 20 degrees. It's not happy there. And the thing is, I think it's got a lot to do with like a maybe some kind of family versus work or career, probably. Family versus work, probably, for Caps, I think. A lot of Caps. But yeah, that too is very Cancerian. So you could be dealing with children. And, I guess in a way that's good this weekend, because, we got Mother's Day coming up. So that works in a way. But it's so not Cap, right? Capricorn is not Cancerian in nature. But I think a lot of Caps are being reminded with the North Node sitting in Cancer. And actually, the North Node is exactly opposed. Bam. It's exact. Yeah. This is all about Capricorns just kind of like chilling out on their work a little bit and relaxing with the family and the kids and being a mom and taking care of their home and cleaning up their house and cooking dinner and preparing for Mother's Day. All those Cancerian things that, the North Node's trying to teach you, Capricorn, and all the other people who have their planets at 19 or 20 degrees. You'll probably really feel this. If you're an Aries, a Libra, a Capricorn, and a Cancer, you'll feel it a lot. But it's just time. It's Mother's Day. It's going to your heart. It's time to start nurturing and caring for yourself and for other people. For me, I know it's about nurturing and caring for myself, because Saturn is sitting like it's going toward my ascendant again. That's just saying, take care of yourself, nurture yourself, love yourself, get better, and pamper yourself even. I mean, the North Node's over in the 7th house. If you got a partner, love and nurture your neighbor, that too, but your partner. But I do think for Caps, it's about figuring out how we're going to love ourselves as well. So Uranus is at 3 degrees of Taurus. As I mentioned, that's like square my own Mercury. From the 3rd house of communication. So I'm taping this right now, and in my mind's eye, as I'm taping this is all going to go well. Reality check, though, when I come back and look at the recording, anything could be here. I mean, I could look like who knows what and why. I'm just thinking, do I got something on my face? Like is there metal on my face? It's just one of those situations. So that could happen with Uranus square Mercury in your 1st house. Basically, is squaring my 1st house. And so, or the Aquarius, Mercury in my 1st house. Uranus in Taurus is actually, to me, it just, I don't know how I feel about Uranus being in Taurus anyway. I think it's why so many Tauruses went off the deep end. They're so stubborn, and the change is so rapid with Uranus that they're making rapid, probably horrific changes that they cannot come back from ever, because they're horrific. They're not thinking them through. They're not used to it. And they're so used to making firm decisions that they're making these crazy decisions based on these Uranian moments. And, who can talk to a Taurus about that? Talk to them in 6 years. They'll see the error of their way in 6 years if they survive. Anyway, I'm just saying, Uranus and Taurus are two things that I just don't know if they go well. But we'll see. We got 6 years to go through this. And one of my videos, I talked about this and how the Uranus Taurus experience and the Uranus Gemini experience all ties back into the World War II experience and ugly time. So, yeah, I think there's a book written on that, even something you might want to look into if you're interested anyway. So let's see. Then we got Neptune at 18 degrees of Pisces. Well, that's actually not bad, because that means that the sun at 19 degrees of Taurus and Neptune at 18 degrees of Pisces are technically sextile each other. And that Saturn, which is retrograding backwards in Capricorn, is technically sextile that Neptune as well. So that's, it just, to me, this screams creativity. Like, wow, what a beautiful, almost a golden sextile. It is almost, wow. It is. All we needed was Scorpio, because True Note is at 19 degrees, Neptune's at 18 degrees, Saturn's at 20, almost 19 degrees, and Sun is at 19 degrees. And if we would have had one planet in Scorpio at 18 or 19 or even 20, it would have made a grand sextile. Wow, how amazing. Oh, yeah, we would have had to have Virgo as well, but that's beautiful. We got a couple of really amazing sextiles going on right now in trines. It's actually a pleasant time overall, even though there are, as I mentioned, as I go through this, looking at the inner deep things here, that there are some issues, especially when it comes to things like Neptune. Pisces and Neptune's been affecting, I think, a lot of Pisces overall, and I've been talking to him about it, because I think whenever you got Neptune sitting up in the first house like that, and I have a progressed sun in Pisces, by the way, it makes it hard for people to see you and understand you or comprehend you, or they might be misguided about you or saying things about you, or it may not be true. It's all based in fantasy, because they can't really get a good grip on who you are, what you represent, and it's all kind of nebulous. And so it's smack dab in the heart of Pisces too. So just about every Pisces is being affected by that. Like, I don't know, it's almost like a mask, like a veil. I think some Pisces even have like a veil of glamour around them now. Um, Even in their pictures, I've noticed with several Pisces, like when I look at their photos, it's almost like there's a veil around their photos. Is anyone old enough to remember the show Moonlighting? Like, that's going back. Wow, going back when Bruce Willis was young. And the main girl in the show, I'm trying to remember her name now. Oh, she was big back in the day, blonde hair. But she was getting a little bit older. And so they used like a filter back when filters weren't big on her. And whenever they showed her, because she was a big model, I think back in the 70s. Oh, what's her name? It's right on the tip of my tongue. And they used a filter on her. And it was funny, because every time you saw her, she was like in this haze, this amazing haze. And see, it's going to get me. I have to Google her. Let me see if I can find her name. I should know. Let's see. Sybil Shepherd. I got it before I even got there. I just had to think about it enough, and then once I did it, I didn't even have to Google it. I bet you I'm right. Right. Sybil. Is it Sybil Shepherd? Yep, Sybil Shepherd. I just had to make sure. Once I saw it, for some reason, I was like, Sybil Shepherd. Yeah, yeah. So what they did was they used to use this amazing, like this screen, and to me, I call that the Pisces veil, the Pisces filter, because it's like you're always beautiful. You're in like this ephemeral haze, and I always feel like maybe that's the way he saw her, because he falls in love with her. But it was just a great show. I love that show. It was an awesome show. Anyway, you guys, let's see, where am I at now? Pluto at 23 degrees of Capricorn. And that's amazing because here we go again with that Gemini flavor. We've got 23 degrees on several things here. Venus, Jupiter, and now in Pluto, 23 degrees. That means there's like this overall Gemini vibe. And we've got Mars in Gemini. There's a real Geminian vibe going on in right now. Right now. That means there's probably a lot of talking, communication, writing, proposals, interviews, webinars, seminars, all of that. It's all going on. And it's going on at different levels with love, probably flirtations on Facebook and calling with someone. Jupiter, that's taking chances and risks where you might not have otherwise taken chances and risks. And then we've got Pluto and Capricorn, and that's wow, to have Gemini there. It's very unique actually to have it there, but it does put the flavor of communication on that Pluto. And I can see where that's an issue. Now for me, that's funny because I have Pluto in my first house near my ascendant, and look at me just running my mouth. Just chop, chop, chop. It's funny. And I think I mentioned the true node being in Cancer in 19 degrees. We went through that in Chiron in 4 degrees. And so basically I've covered everything I really wanted to cover with the planets because I wanted to make sure I talked about the aspects and came and said hello. And someone said they're Virgo. Where's the North Node for me? Well, if you're a Virgo, no matter where it would be probably, though, for you in your 11th house, which is actually good, Virgo. If you're a Virgo and you've got your, it would be in your, like the natural 11th house for a Virgo, Cancer, 2 houses before Virgo, which is Debo. I don't hope I'm saying your name right because I think about Debo. I think about Friday, next Friday, Debo. But I'm thinking, like, if you've got the North Node in your 11th house, wow, that is good. First of all, Cancer and Virgo, good, because they're sextile each other. Hopefully, it's making a sextile right now. And with the North Node being like at 19 degrees, it's almost smack dab in the middle. Hopefully, you're getting a sextile out of it. Other than that, it is in the 11th house, which is the natural house of hopes, dreams, and wishes for Virgo. This is great time for Virgo. I'm serious. My daughter has her, she's a Virgo. And I've been noticing she's been having a great deal of luck since the North Node's been in Cancer. So let's hope that this North Node in Cancer is going to be very lucky for some Virgos. Okay. And you guys also have the trines that are coming in from Saturn and Pluto. So I believe Virgos in particular are getting a lot of inner support and like a strong foundation to move forward in their desires and push ahead in what they need, even probably better than a lot of other signs. So go for it, Virgo. Go for it. All right. All right, you guys, it's been almost 30 minutes and I got to get out of here. Thanks for putting up with me and my fuzzy hair. It was almost 80 degrees here in Seattle. And I'm sorry. This was the best you're getting out of me today. I'm sorry. The heat. Sending out much love and light to you all. Please come and follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/astrology a look inside. And I'm back on Patreon at patreon.com/Capricorntigress. I need to build that back up. And you can always find me on astrologylookinside.com. Go to our order page to make donations and to order private readings. Sending out much love and light to everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all the blessed mothers out there. See you. Much love and light to you guys. Bye.